Welcome to the Loading Zone podcast, where we will be discussing North American intermodal solutions for automotive OEMs and parts suppliers.
Ever think about the sheer scale of getting a car from, raw materials to that shiny new thing on the dealer's lot?
It's mind-boggling, right? We're talking about a $1.04 trillion industry in North America alone.
A trillion. With a T.
Yeah.
And it's not just holding steady, it's projected to grow another 5.43% every year, pushing it to, get this, 1.3 trillion.
It's massive. And all those parts, all those vehicles, it means that efficient transportation is only becoming more critical.
Absolutely. So for anyone trying to wrap their head around this, the big question is, how do these automotive giants move everything, and I mean everything, from tiny parts to finished cars across such a huge, complex landscape?
Especially with, the increasing focus on operations down in Mexico.
Right. Mexico's a big piece of the puzzle now, and that's what we're diving into today. How do they do it securely and efficiently?
It's a fascinating challenge.
So to get a handle on this, we've been digging into Challenger Intermodal Automotive.
We're part of the Fast Freight Group.
Exactly. Think of this as a crash course in a really crucial but often overlooked part of the automotive world.
We're focusing on how Challenger specifically tackles these big transportation needs.
So let's break it down. What are some of the core challenges they're up against?
Well, car manufacturers, to stay competitive, they can't just settle for any transportation partner.
Right. The stakes are high.
They need reliability, of course.
Top of the list.
But they also need a partner that's embracing new technologies and one that's serious about sustainability.
Makes sense. It's not just about moving stuff anymore, right? It's about doing it smarter and, greener. And it seems like the Fast Freight Group, with their integrated services, is really trying to address that.
That's their focus. They want to make the flow of goods smoother, more secure, and even help companies hit those, increasingly important environmental targets.
It's all connected now. And Challenger Motor Freight seems to be a key player within Fast Freight. They've got this reputation for dependable service, but also for being really forward-thinking in their approach.
They're not standing still.
And the range of services they offer, it's pretty impressive. We're talking everything from, your basic full truckload FTL
to less than truckload LTL.
To intermodal, which, just to clarify, means using multiple modes of transport like truck and rail.
So that's a big part of what we'll be digging into.
Right. Intermodal is key here, but they also handle warehousing, cross-border shipments, and even that tricky final mile delivery to the customer.
They're covering a lot of ground, literally across Canada, the U.S., and Mexico.
It's a massive footprint, and what really stands out is their experience with intermodal, especially for the automotive industry.
Decades of it. They're not just dipping their toes in. They're experts.
And it shows in their on-time performance, consistently over 98%.
Which, in an industry where delays can cascade through the entire system, that's a huge deal.
Absolutely. Because a delay for a manufacturer relying on just-in-time inventory.
Oh, that can be disastrous. We're talking about potentially halting an entire assembly line. Millions of dollars lost.
Challenger's consistency, then that's not just a number. It's a safety net.
Exactly. It lets manufacturers operate leaner, with less inventory, and tighter production schedules. Less risk, lower costs.
It makes you appreciate that 98% even more. And to handle all this, they have teams on the ground throughout the U.S., Canada, and Mexico.
Local expertise is essential when you're dealing with different regulations, languages, all the nuances of each country.
Plus, that strong custom support network they've got, that's got to be vital for those cross-border moves.
Absolutely. Keeps things flowing smoothly, avoids those customs bottlenecks that can really cost time and money.
Their partnership with CPKC, Canadian Pacific Kansas City, seems like a big piece of the puzzle, especially for those long hauls.
Oh, it is. And it's worth noting, over 35% of Challenger's business is focused on moving automotive parts and materials.
So they're deeply ingrained in this supply chain.
They understand the needs of the industry.
They're not just moving finished cars, they're moving the pieces that make those cars.
And they've got that expertise in both over-the-road trucking, for flexibility.
And rail logistics for efficiency. Plus, they're using some pretty advanced tracking technology, too.
Essential in modern logistics.
And of course, with everything going on in the world, sustainability is a major focus.
It has to be.
Now, when you're talking cross-border shipments, security and compliance are paramount, right? What does Challenger do, especially in Mexico, to make sure everything is secure and above board?
This is where their proactive approach shines. They have teams in Mexico that actually go out and verify vet the carriers they're working with
Before anything even moves.
before a single truck rolls.
That's impressive. So it's not just checking paperwork, it's boots on the ground.
Exactly. They're assessing the carrier's operations, inspecting their equipment, making sure they're meeting all of the standards.
Multiple layers of protection, reducing risk from the get-go.
Exactly. And for that border crossing process, the customs maze.
Which can be a real headache.
I have a dedicated team for that too. Experts in documentation, tariff classification, duty drawback programs, all the regulations.
So they're anticipating problems before they arise, making sure those shipments don't get stuck in limbo?
Smoothing the path.
Yeah.
And when you combine this with their deep understanding of the automotive industry,
5 decades of experience.
and over a third of their business focused on this sector,
It's clear this isn't just a sideline for them.
they get it. They know the importance of precision, reliability, those incredibly tight delivery windows for just-in-time JIT.
And just in sequence, JIS, manufacturing. If a part arrives late, the whole line stops.
The domino effect.
Yeah.
And that's what Challenger prevents.
Their network, their facilities, it's all designed to keep those lines running smoothly.
And they handle it all, from raw materials to specialized components, even the return of those empty racks and totes,
It's the whole ecosystem.
and offer those secure, high-value services, bonded warehouses, dedicated customer support.
It's the full package. Let's go back to that partnership with CPKC. The Fast Freight Group manages over 40,000 domestic intermodal moves with them every year. What does that actually mean for the car manufacturers? How does this truck and rail combo benefit them in real terms?
Think of it as combining the best of both worlds. Trucks give you that flexibility for shorter distances, final mile,
Getting it to the factory floor, the dealership.
while rail is more efficient, more cost-effective for those long hauls.
So it's about using each mode strategically. Rail for moving things from, say, Mexico up through Chicago
A major hub,
and into Canada, and then trucks for the pickup and final delivery.
you get faster transit times compared to just trucking everything,
Potential cost savings,
and a more reliable supply chain.
especially when you factor in potential truck driver shortages or, border congestion. Rail offers a smoother path.
It does. And CPKC's network is extensive. Challenger leverages that to create these dedicated intermodal routes specifically for automotive clients. Predictable, consistent flow of goods, no matter what's happening out there.
Now, you mentioned the CPKC dedicated Mexico line. That sounds particularly interesting. What makes that stand out?
It's unique because it's the only single-line rail service linking Mexico to the U.S. Midwest. No switching between different rail lines.
So fewer handoffs, less chance of delays or mishandling.
Exactly. And this translates to faster transit times, which CPKC themselves highlight. They claim this is the fastest rail freight option between Mexico and the Midwest.
Speed is everything in the automotive world.
Absolutely. Plus, that direct connection opens up those key markets in both regions. And it's intermodal, so it integrates seamlessly with trucking for that final leg.
So manufacturers using this line, they're getting speed, reliability, potential cost savings, and they're reducing their dependence on long-haul trucking.
That's the idea. It's a compelling package. And if we look at Challenger's overall value proposition, it really comes down to these integrated solutions they offer.
They've got all the bases covered.
Intermodal rail for those long hauls, environmentally friendly, cost-effective.
Ensures capacity even when things get busy. Then there's the over-the-road options, the flexibility of expedited and regular FTL and LTL, dedicated fleets.
Crucial for those first and final miles. And then you have the warehousing and distribution capabilities.
Strategic locations to support JIT, cross-docking, reverse logistics.
It all works together.
And underpinning all this is their focus on reliability and that deep understanding of just-in-time logistics.
Right.
All backed up with real-time visibility through GPS, TMS, EDI.
Knowing where your shipment is every step of the way.
That peace of mind is priceless. And they're serious about sustainability, too, which is becoming more and more important.
Environmentally focused solutions, that's a big part of their offering.
And for companies doing a lot of cross-border business, their expertise in that area, the seamless customs brokerage, the dedicated teams for Canada, the U.S., and Mexico.
That saves so much time and hassle, reduces those dwell times at the border.
It's all about efficiency.
Scalable capacity, optimized costs. They can adapt to whatever you throw at them. And when you look at their track record,
That 99% on-time delivery rate between, say, San Luis Potosi and Monterrey in Mexico to Bensenville, Illinois.
yeah, that's remarkable.
99%, that's hard to beat.
And those transit times. Monterey to Chicago in under 4 days.
Wow. And their drayage solutions, that short-haul trucking from Chicago to Michigan, Ohio, southwestern Ontario.
They're saying it's 2 to 5 days faster than traditional intermodal. That's a real competitive advantage.
Let's talk cost savings. You mentioned that using intermodal for those long hauls can really cut down on expenses compared to just trucking.
Absolutely. We're talking 20 to 50% savings on those line haul costs.
And there are potential savings on things like racks and packaging too, right?
Because those shipments are moving faster, more predictably. You don't need as much heavy-duty packaging. You can reduce your racking needs.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 to 30% savings there.
And we can't forget the environmental piece. Rail is just inherently more fuel efficient than trucking over those long distances.
According to groups like the Association of American Railroads, you're looking at a 60 to 75% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. That's significant.
So they're not just moving things efficiently, they're doing it in a way that helps the environment.
They're aligned with the automotive industry's sustainability goals.
And all of this hinges on their network, right? This interconnected system that minimizes delays and gives them flexibility.
That's the foundation. They can seamlessly shift between road and rail, depending on the needs.
They can handle LTL, FTL, expedited.
They've got access to the major rail networks, ports, a large fleet of trucks.
And routing so much through Chicago as a central hub, that makes a lot of sense.
It's strategic.
Right.
And having this balanced network helps them overcome things like container shortages, rail congestion, makes them more resilient.
And in today's world, we have to talk about data. How are they using technology to provide tracking and visibility?
This is where it gets really cool. They've partnered with BlackBerry.
BlackBerry, like the phone company.
Yep, they're branching out. And this partnership is giving Challenger access to advanced GPS tracking, IoT sensors, even predictive analytics.
So it's not just, here's where your truck is, it's a much deeper level of insight.
Exactly. Manufacturers get real-time updates, accurate ETAs, even alerts if a disruption is likely to occur.
They can get ahead of problems.
And all of this is accessible through a user-friendly online dashboard.
Gives them control, lets them see what's happening.
Those predictive analytics are really game-changing. You can anticipate delays, adjust your plans, even factor in things like seasonal shutdowns.
Takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. And again, their commitment to sustainability, that can't be overstated.
They're serious about it. Green logistics practices are integrated into everything they do.
That shift to rail for those long hauls, that's a big part of it.
It is. Plus, they're investing in fuel-efficient vehicles, alternative fuels, sustainable practices across the board.
Walking the walk.
Absolutely.
So big picture, Challenger Intermodal Automotive, as part of the Fast Freight Group, they've built this really sophisticated approach to transportation, haven't they?
They have. Specifically designed for the demands of the North American automotive industry.
With a real focus on those cross-border operations with Mexico.
That's a key piece of it. And for you, the listener, hopefully this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the complexities behind getting those cars and parts where they need to go.
It's a whole world most people never see.
It really highlights the importance of intermodal transportation. Partnerships like the one Challenger has with CPKC.
It's all about collaboration. Makes you think, how will these advancements in logistics, in intermodal, how will they shape the future of manufacturing, of global supply chains? What can other industries learn from what's happening in the automotive world?
It's an exciting time. Lots of potential.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Lots to think about.